And I'm going to talk you through this here wee worksheet. It's cut off there, so let's check that number should have been. But we'll write it in as a 7. I think it's a 17, I'm not sure. We'll go for a 17. So, I don't have 3 sides. I don't have 2 sides in the in-between angle. I'm looking for this one here. So I'm going to start off using the sine rule. So the sine rule is side. So it's side over sine, the opposite angle. So better work out that angle first of all. So this angle's 180 minus 36 minus 17. So 180 minus 36 minus 17 is 127. So it's side over sine, the opposite angle, equals side over sine, the opposite angle. You want x on its own, so bring this across its times sign. So 14 times sine 17 divided by sine 127. So 14 times sine 17 divided by sine 127 gives me an answer of 5.13. So that's your first one done. The next one, number 2. And what are they looking for in number 2? They're looking for the area. We'll leave out number 2, so I haven't shown you that yet. Number 3, BC. So I'm looking for this side. Can you see the way I've got 2 sides in the in-between angle? So it's going to be the cosine rule. So the cosine rule is a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine a. So I'm starting with my a. That's the side I work with. You always start with the opposite. So x squared is the other 2 sides squared minus 2 times the other 2 sides times cosine, your answer, or your angle, sorry. So you work them out in pairs. So 45 squared adds 60 squared gives me 5625 minus 2 times 45 times 60 times cosine 110 is minus, just watch the minus signs now. So x squared is 5625 minus your answer 7471.9. So x is the square root of that answer to give you 86.4 kilometres. Now, number 4, very similar. You're looking for, let's check this, lengths of xz. So this one here. Again, I've got 2 sides and the in-between angle. So it's cosine rule. So if you remember what it is, just writing it out. You learn these off pretty fast because you're writing them out all the time. Here's my angle, so you start here. So x squared equals the other 2 sides squared and added minus 2 times the other 2 sides times cosine 38. Let's put this back onto the screen so you can see it. So x squared, you do these and these separately. So 9.3 squared add 12.4 squared is 240.25 minus 2 times 9.3 times 12.4 times cosine 38, giving you 181.7468, 240.25 minus the answer. So x squared is 58.5, so x is the square root of your answer to give you 7.65 centimetres. Okay. Number 5, looking for y. Again, I've got 2 sides in the in-between angle, so it's cosine rule again. So a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cosine a. So here's my angle A. I start here. So it's 72 squared plus 30 squared minus 2 times 72 times 30 times cosine 40. So you do them in pairs. So it's 72 squared add 30 squared is 6084 minus 2 times 72 times 30 times cosine 40 to give you 3309. So subtracting those two is 2774.688. So y is the square root of that to give you 52.7 centimetres. Okay, number 6. I'm looking for the length of AD. So I want this length here. First of all, I don't have enough information. Can you see this bottom triangle here? If I find Y, I can then open this triangle. Basically, if you have 3 pieces of information, you can work. But you see this top triangle, I only know 2. I can't do anything with it. So I'm going to look at this bottom triangle first of all. It's quite a hard question, but hopefully we'll get there with it. Okay, I don't have 3 sides, and I don't have 2 sides and the in-between angle. So it's going to be sine rule. So if you remember the sine rule, it's side over sine the opposite angle equals side over sine the opposite angle. You want the Y. So bring this up and times. Okay, so just enter your calculator. 12.5 times sine 34. Make sure you close your brackets. Divided by sine 109. So you get Y to be 7.39. Now I'm going to draw out the second triangle. So this is your DBA. This is 11.4. I now know DB is 7.39. I know this is 86. I'm looking for X. I've got 2 sides and the in-between angle. So I'm going to use the cosine rule now. So the cosine rule, A squared is B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cosine A. So here's your angle, 86. So you start here. So X squared is your 2 sides squared minus 2 times your 2 sides times cosine 86. So again, in the pairs. So 11.4 squared add 7.39 squared gives you 184.57 minus, and again, do this in your calculator, times cosine 86 gives you 11.75. So 184.57 minus that answer gives you 172.82. So X is the square root of that, 13.1 centimetres. That was quite a hard one. Number 7 doesn't look too pleasant either. It can be shown that AC is 13. Okay, so we'll just go for that. Calculate BC. Now let's see if I can work this out from this triangle. So I'm looking for this side. Okay, I don't have 3 sides. I don't know 2 sides in the in-between angle. So I'm going to try the cosine rule. So A squared equals B squared plus C squared minus 2BC cosine A. So there's your angle. Side. I'm looking for this side, so I'm going to start. Sorry. Wasn't concentrating there. Sine rule, obviously. I would have fallen into problems there because I was going to say there's my A. I have my B, but I didn't have my C. So I instantly fell down. So if you do get it wrong, don't worry about that because you'll just realise something's not right. So side over sine the opposite angle equals side over sine this. So we'll better work out this angle. 180 minus 78 minus 81. So 180 minus 78 minus 81 is 21 degrees. You want X, so bring that up and times 13 times sine 78 over sine 21. So 13 times sine 78, don't forget to close your brackets, divided by sine 21 gives you X to be 35.5. Just checking, I wanted 3 significant figures. 35.5. Okay, this one here. I don't have 3 sides, and I don't have 2 sides and the in-between angle. So it's going to be sine rule. So what am I looking for? X. So X over sine the opposite angle equals a side over sine the opposite angle. Bring this up in times. So X is 1 times sine 101 over sine 16. Quite a nicely simple one there. Sine 101, just make sure you close your brackets, divided by sine 16 to give you an answer of 3.56 centimetres. Okay, 2 to go. Number 9, which rule would you use? Okay, do you remember the rules? cosine rule, 3 sides, or 2 sides and in between angle. So it's not the cosine rule, so I'm going to use the sine. Okay, so let's look at this. I don't have 3 sides, I don't have 2 sides in the in-between angle, so it's going to be the sine rule. You'll notice I'm not looking at these options yet because that would just confuse me. I'm just going to work it out. So side over sine, the opposite angle, equals side over sine, the opposite angle. Hopefully I've got that somewhere. Yep, and it's the first one.